Christmas was a bad time for me and the more joyous people got, the more depressed I became because I had no joy.
At least Rod Thomas was alive. On Christmas Eve, he almost died in a car accident.
I went out to get something to eat. I had been smoking marijuana that day. As I pulled around the corner, I got to the intersection, and I don't know what happened next. I must have passed out. I looked to my left, and there was a big, huge pickup truck that had rammed my car. And I look on this side, on my right, and my car was wrapped around a telephone pole.
Rod walked out of the hospital with nothing more than a small stitch above his eyebrow and some sore muscles. He says he knew God saved his life, but he had no idea why. Up until this point, his life was a mess. Nothing had ever worked out, and he was clinically depressed. I thought that once I finished college, that everything would just be perfect, that life would be perfect, that I'd make good money, that I'd be able to buy a nice home and a nice car, all these things. He also thought his career was on track as a Detroit newspaper sports reporter until the day he got fired. I had no idea who the heck I was. I was a shell of a man. I went from situation to situation, relationship to relationship, and then the partying. It helped me to erase the things that were going on in my life at that time. Inside, what I was feeling was that things cannot get any worse than what they are right now. I wish that the heartache and I wish that the loneliness and the brokenness would just go away. His mom had been praying for him to turn to God for years. I avoided her. I rebelled against her, but I knew she loved me, and I knew that somehow, some way, she was right, but I just did not want to hear it. Yet in his darkest hour, Rod took a tiny step towards God. He picked up the gift his sister had given him, a Bible. The words jumped off the page. It talks about things will not always be good in life, but if you can hold on, you'll be saved. And that got me through that time. And God just gave me a nugget, something to just hold on to, just not lose hope. Rod continued to drink and get high, but at the same time, he held on to what he read. A few months after his accident, he moved home to Detroit and started going to church with a friend. But he was hesitant about making any kind of commitment to God. I did not want to come to God if I was not going to be serious about following him. I did not want to be another hypocrite. I thought that you had to come to God correct. You had to come to God totally clean, and then he would accept you. At church, Rod learned that idea was a lie, and he could come to Jesus Christ just as he was. I came to a place where it's okay, it's time. When I made a confession that Jesus Christ was my Savior, it was just an overwhelming sense of acceptance. God rescued me, wiped away all the mistakes, and it was about who God is and who God says I am. And that day I became his child, and he allowed me to realize and to experience his love. Once I stopped fighting and I started to sense and grasp the reality of who God was, that's when he started changing my life. Jesus Christ paid the price for me. For me. And I'm nobody. I'm just a kid from the streets of Detroit. But he loves me. And he loved me. And he gave his life for me.